Hey guys, welcome back to episode 8 of Java Tutorial, and in this one I'm going to talk a bit more about classes and objects. More specifically, I'm going to explain setters and getters. What the hell are they? Right, so remember when we did string name, string int, double height in this human class here? Well, you know what? It's actually considered bad practice to be able to access this this height, these variables, when it's not really necessary. What we really should be doing is making these private. So we write the word private before them. So we have two options. We could do private or we could do public. But default is public. What we had before was public. It just wasn't written. So now it's private. So now if we try and run this code, it's gonna go error. Oh, all right. That means human.height can't do that anymore. So what are you supposed to do instead? Well, instead we have to use getters and setters. So inside this human class, we have to create a new method for each time we want to set the variable for name, age, and height, and each time we want to get the variable name, age, and height. So let's create a getter for string name. So let's do. So did I say getter? Yep. Okay, let's create a getter. Public, because we want to be able to access it. And then it's gonna return a string. So string get name return this dot name. So what is this here? Public means we can access it from over here. String, that means that this method returns a string, and this is what return is. Let me explain what that means. So when we run get name, so let's say I should have done this with height. Let's create another one for height. Public double get height. Return this dot height. So now instead of just saying height, we can say get height. Get height. What this will do is it will call this. It will say, what do I need to return? Double. Return basically means, what am I giving back? What does this turn into? When I say human1.getHeight, what does it turn into? It turns into a double. In particular, it turns into a double this.height, which is what we said earlier, it's height. So it's all coming full circle. So we need to a name, age, and height. So we need public int get age, return this age. Now human1.age, human1.height, these aren't going to work, but get height, get age, those are going to work. But what if we wanted to change our age, change our height? Well, before, when it was public, we could have done human1.height equals 100,000 to make Adam the tallest being in existence. But we can't do that anymore because human.height is private. So this is why we have to create setters. So let's say public void set height double height this dot height equals height. So what do we got here? So remember when I said double here? Now it's void because we're not returning anything. There's no return statement. If we didn't put void, it would expect us to return something, but putting void there means we're definitely not going to return anything. And I've put double height inside these brackets here because when we call this set height, we're not setting it like a variable like that. We are instead setting it like a method, so it's inside these brackets, and then we're saying 10,000 meters. So the 10,000 meters inside these brackets comes through these brackets in this form of double height. This height is then assigned to this dot height, which goes back here, and Adam's height has now changed. So we can test this out for sure. So now Adam should be taller than Eve. There we go. That was only because we had that there. If we comment that out, ooh, Eve is taller than Adam all of a sudden. Alright, well, that's great. Now let's create setters for the rest of them then, should we? Public void set name. It's the same process. String name. This dot name equals name. Let's do it the same. Public void set age. Int age. This dot age equals age. And now all of these will be able to be used instead of these for getting and setting variables inside this human class.